I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim Porter?
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, Pierce.
Listen, like I said, Jay-Z and Beyonce are not here, unfortunately, to respond to that.
I know. I'm just being honest with you.
You're perfectly entitled to your views, obviously. Kim Porter,
Yes.
a new book claims that Diddy may have been involved in her early death. What do you think of that?
I think people should really look into that more. I am friends with Albie Shore. I love him. I love his children. I knew Kim. We used to all hang out together at the Kit Kat Club back in the mid-90s when Diddy was first starting his reign. I watched that whole thing happen. And everything that Albert has been through, every attempt on his life that has been ignored by the authorities, it all leads back to Diddy.
The music stopped, but the noise around her life never did. Cameras flashed, whispers spread like wildfire, and one name kept echoing through blogs, comment sections, and late-night conversations: Beyonce. A woman who built an empire on talent, discipline, and mystery suddenly found herself at the center of a storm she never invited. And this time, it wasn't about an album drop or a tour. It was personal, deeply personal. Because what people were saying didn't just question her career, it questioned her motherhood, her marriage, and her truth. And when Lala Anthony's name got pulled into the conversation, things went from gossip to chaos. What nobody expected was how emotional it would all become. The internet swore there was a hidden story, a secret tied to the past, and a woman named Cathy White whose name refused to stay buried in the background. But here's the twist. None of it came with proof, only speculation, theories, and a public hungry for drama. And in the middle of it all stood a mother, watching the world talk about her child like she was a headline instead of a human being.
Allegedly, the song Daughter on Beyonce's Cowboy Carter album, well, it's potentially a murder confession about Jay-Z's mistress, Cathy White. Yeah, buckle up. On August 28, 2011, Beyonce announced her pregnancy at the MTV VMAs. On January 7th, 2012, Blue Ivy was born into this world. In 2016, Beyonce dropped Lemonade. Now, as we all know, Lemonade was a true album about infidelity. Jay-Z was rumored to have a very long-time mistress. It was well known in the industry. People knew of Cathy White because of Jay-Z, okay? Yikes. So here's where it gets a little crazy. Cathy White was known to be pregnant in 2011. Shortly after giving birth, Cathy died mysteriously in her apartment of a brain aneurysm.
I have a feeling this is related.
Okay. Now, even though we saw Beyonce's bump publicly, there's a video of Beyonce sitting down for an interview and her whole stomach just deflates in the video. And it's very weird.
This is crazy.
If you listen to Daughter, the song completely illustrates a murder confession. The lyrics in the song say, "Your body laid out on these filthy floors, your bloodstains on my custom coutures. Bathroom attendant let me right in. She was a big fan. I tried to stay cool, but your arrogance disturbed my solitude. Now I ripped your dress and you're all black and blue. Look what you made me do." So fans are speculating that Beyonce had Cathy White killed after Cathy White had the baby and claimed the baby as her own, and that baby is Blue Ivy.
Before the rumors, before the viral clips and wild accusations, Beyonce's story looked like a modern fairy tale. A Houston girl with a big voice, raised in a strict but loving home, pushed by a father who believed she was destined for greatness. We watched her grow up in front of us, from Destiny's Child to global superstardom. Every era felt like a level up. Every move was calculated. But even then, she kept parts of herself locked away. Privacy became her shield. When she and Jay-Z made their relationship public, it felt like royalty had formed its own kingdom, two powerful forces merging. But their love story wasn't perfect, and they never pretended it was. Infidelity rumors, emotional lyrics, and public tension played out in music instead of interviews. They turned pain into art, and fans felt like they were witnessing something raw and real.
If it's what you truly want, I can wear her skin over mine, her hair over mine, her hands as gloves, her teeth as confetti, her scalp a cap, her sternum my bedazzled cane. We can pose for a photograph, all three of us, immortalized. You and your perfect.
Then came the pregnancy announcement that broke the internet. The photos, the glow, the excitement, it was a moment people still remember. Blue Ivy Carter entered the world surrounded by cameras and celebration. To Beyonce, it was motherhood. To the public, it was another chapter in a life they felt connected to. But fame comes with a dark side. The higher you rise, the harder people search for cracks. And that's where Cathy White's name started resurfacing in online spaces. She was a woman linked to old rumors involving Jay-Z years ago. After her passing, some corners of the internet built theories that refused to die. They connected dots that may not have existed, crafting stories that grew more dramatic each time they were retold. For years, those whispers stayed on the edges. Then suddenly, they came roaring back, louder than ever.
It started with a clip, a short moment online that people twisted into something bigger than it was. Lala Anthony, who has been around both Beyonce and Jay-Z for years, was dragged into conversations she never publicly fueled. Social media did what it does best, filled in blanks with imagination. People claimed she had confirmed things, hinted at secrets, or exposed truths. But when you actually looked for direct statements, solid evidence, or verified interviews, there was nothing clear, just interpretations. But here's the thing about rumors. Once they start trending, facts become background noise. What nobody expected was how far the conversation would go. Suddenly, people weren't just gossiping about relationships, they were talking about Blue Ivy's identity, questioning her place, and tying her existence to a woman who could no longer speak for herself. It crossed a line from celebrity tea into something deeply personal and uncomfortable. And in the middle of it all, Beyoncé stayed silent. No Instagram rant, no press conference, just silence. The same silence she's used before when the world spins stories she refuses to entertain. But silence doesn't stop the internet, it feeds it. Some fans said they saw emotion in her performances during that time, softer moments on stage, longer hugs with her daughter at events. To them, it looked like a mother protecting her child from a world that doesn't know boundaries. Whether that emotion was connected or not, one thing was obvious. Blue Ivy was growing up under a spotlight that never turns off. Imagine being a child and seeing strangers debate your story like it's a TV plot. That's the part people forget. The drama kept escalating because online culture thrives on what if. What if there's more? What if the truth is hidden? What if the powerful always get away with things?
Talk about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
So, Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Cathy White.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died of an imagined aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote, you can't go to the boss because the boss, and the boss's boss don't get no, can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You could try to get a special prosecutor, but they'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case. You go when you get over by the industry, nowhere. That's where you go, nowhere, which is where people like me step in. Right, I go to Diddy parties to walk mother out, cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come. You show 'em.
Hey, man.
Weirdo. Don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever. All I do is frustrate you in AI. You can't quantify me. You can't even control your wife. You gonna handle a bit like me. You can't even control that goofy bit. You should have did a better job. Maybe she wouldn't have had to lose her mind on Cathy. Cause you ain't protecting you. You're protecting her. Wonder why?
Those questions fuel endless videos, threads, and breakdowns. And the more emotional the story sounds, the faster it spreads. But here's another twist. Real life isn't structured like a movie script. There are no dramatic confessions, no shocking courtroom reveals, and no final scene where everything makes sense. Sometimes there's just noise and people trying to live through it. Friends close to the couple have always described Beyoncé as fiercely protective, not just of her image, but of her family. Her children are her soft spot, the part of her life she guards the most. So when conversations online shift toward them, it hits differently. It's no longer about fame, it's about motherhood. And motherhood changes everything. The emotional weight of being accused, speculated about, and dissected in public isn't light. Even the strongest people feel it. Beyoncé has built a brand on strength, grace, and control, but she's still human, still a woman, still a mother who carried her child, loved her child, and raised her child in a world that constantly questions her. The emotional impact goes beyond headlines. It affects trust, it affects friendships, it affects how you move in rooms, who you let close, and what you share with the world. When people you once laughed with get pulled into rumors about your family, it adds another layer of discomfort. Even if they never said what the internet claims, the damage is done. For Jay-Z, it's another reminder that past rumors never truly disappear. For Blue Ivy, it's a future where her name is tied to stories she never asked to be part of. And for Beyoncé, it's the pain of knowing that no amount of success can protect you from people rewriting your life. But through it all, she does what she's always done: shows up, performs, creates, smiles for her daughter, keeps moving. Because sometimes strength isn't loud. Sometimes it's choosing not to engage, choosing peace over chaos, choosing family over headlines. And maybe that's the part people overlook. The internet wants reactions, tears on camera, public meltdowns. But real power is quiet. It's holding your child's hand tighter when the world gets ugly. It's going home, turning off the noise, and remembering what actually matters. At the end of the day, rumors fade, trends change, and new drama replaces old headlines. But family stays, love stays. The bond between a mother and her child doesn't depend on public opinion. The world may never stop talking. There will always be theories, whispers, and stories that grow in the dark. But truth doesn't need to scream. It just exists, steady, unshaken, and untouched by speculation. And maybe that's why she doesn't fight every rumor. Maybe she knows something the internet forgets. Not every story deserves a response. Some deserve silence, dignity, and distance. Because when the cameras turn off and the stage lights fade, she's not a headline. She's just a mother holding her daughter close, letting the noise stay outside where it belongs.